Welcome back to the Justice Conference 2015. We're so excited to be here with Dennis Kwok. And you've just been sharing us, of course, you're a member of the Legislative Council. You've been sharing with us a little bit of your work on the refugee side of things. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the progress there?
I think we need to get all the children of refugees onto access to education and also remind ourselves that these children are not here of their own choosing. So that's the first thing we should do, and we've got the resources, and there's no reason why we should deny these kids their right to education. And of course there are other very contentious issues, refugees, whether they're economic migrants or really refugees, and whether the system is processing enough. That's a little more complicated, but I think there are clear justice issues involved in the refugee arena that we can do something about.
And of course, it's a bit of a touchy topic, obviously, because you're wanting to support the kids, but really, I guess where the resistance is coming with the parents coming over for maybe some of the wrong reasons. So how do we get around that?
I think we need to inform the public about the system, to give them the confidence that the system can sort out the real refugees, those who are really under persecution, torture back home and cannot go back, and those who are economic migrants. And that way we give more confidence to the public that we're not having the system being abused by people who are not really refugees. That's number one. Number two is that the government's got to put a little bit more resources into making the system more faster and more efficient, so that refugees are not stranded here in Hong Kong for very long periods of time.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, with refugees, they're not allowed to work when they're here, and possibly for good reason. But you do think that maybe there's something that we could do to make their time here more valuable?
I think so. At the moment, they can't even do volunteer work, work that is no pay, but it's really just to engage them in the community. And I think it will be a good use of their time and abilities. But right now, they can't do it because of our strict laws. Even if Divine wants to hire volunteer workers, they can't do it because of the potential breach of the law. And then I think it's those areas that we could, work on.
Right. And you mentioned, of course, in Hong Kong we have 3.2% unemployment, which is kind of incredible, really. And so do you think those fears are really warranted, or do you think that really there's an opportunity for there to be value from them?
No, as I said, I mean, are there like job queues outside NGOs and churches that people are getting into that? No, there's a need, but there is a need in the community that we can make use of these people. So, in Hong Kong, I think we have sufficient opportunities and resources to take better care of these people who are our brothers and sisters in Christ.
And the last thing is just you mentioned about how some of the mentally handicapped and kids think. Can you tell us a little bit about what your hopes are there?
I hope that Hong Kong will have proper legislation taking care of these children, and that we have a system, education in place that would allow them to realize their full potential and not to write them off because they are physically and mentally handicapped. They are children, they are proper individuals, and we should do everything we can to help them. And we have the resources, and it is a shame that we're not doing enough.
Right. Well, Dennis, thanks so much for being at the Justice Conference Asia. It was a pleasure to meet you, and keep up the good work.
Okay,
thank you.